Shuffle left jab. You push, drag, shuffle back to match distance. Parry block the inside of the left arm. Keep your left hand in direct line for the right cross. Launching push, drag, shuffle to break the nose to cancel the right cross. Collapse your elbow on the sternum. Left eye poke to set up the right back knuckle to the solar plexus. Notice how the head rocks back, and then that gives you the opportunity for the directional harmony back knuckle. Bounce up with the right inward elbow, turns his head to the right to open the target for the groin. So here's a really important concept. In each belt level, there's a combat model that we put together where a series of techniques work on a default mechanism. And here's 4 in a row. We're going to start with the first one called Shielding Hammer. The next one's 5 swords, then Raining Claw, and then Glancing Wing. And so actually, Trevor, let's switch sides. You guys stay there. Okay, so Trevor's up in a fighting stance, and this is what I see. This is what makes me start in this direction. In fact, why don't you guys come around and take my position and look over here and see what I'm looking at. So the idea is you're in the middle of a fight, something happened, maybe pushed, you hit a fighting stance, and you have some choices, you have some decisions to make. You put yourself together into a combat model. So as you can see, what we're looking at is Trevor's got his left hand, he can fire straight away. He's got his right cross. Maybe he's got a left uppercut to the ribs and then bounce with a left hook to the face, or maybe a right uppercut down here to the ribs. You can see all the stuff that can fire right from here. So what you need to do is, from one stance, from one position, you need to have a sequence of techniques that can try to address all 4 of these different corners, okay? So you're up in your fighting stance. I hit a right neutral bow to his left, and my guard is up. So when he shuffles in, I shuffle back. Now that principle is called matching distance. I slap, as you saw early in the explanation of the technique, with an inward parry and block. And here's what's really important. This hand has to stay right in line with that right cross. Because if in the first technique, Shielding Hammer, I'm trying to cancel that right cross by breaking his nose with a push, drag, shuffle, hammer fist, and that sets me up into the sequence that you saw earlier. Okay, so in the middle of Shielding Hammer, there's a really important thing about how we do Kempo. Remember, I've been talking about power-based Kempo, and that's really what Kempo is about, is how hard can I hit you. And in Shielding Hammer, after you block the left, and you make an assumption that you do get to crack the nose and cancel the right hand, and as you saw from the technique earlier, I cancel his height zone with the elbow. Now I'm going to do utilize a principle called opposing forces. I'm going to poke to the eye, that opens him up, and then I rebound off myself with a back knuckle here to the stomach. That brings him down, so I can flash that elbow up and then hammer fist down to the groin. Okay, now here's the point I want to make. After I bring him down to this position, I want to rebound off this side, and as both this strike and the back knuckle, I want to turn into him and drop my height zone just a little bit. That little bit of a turn, that's the directional harmony principle. That's how we can move in a short space, a short distance, and still have tremendous impact like we're winding up for a big shot. That's the way more antiquated Kempo and more other systems of older martial arts move. They figure you have to move with big circles to generate power. And one of the great things that Mr. Parker did for us is he showed us how to utilize our body in harmony, in a direct motion with the angle of the strike to increase the impact value. So we move much faster, we waste a lot less energy, and we increase the impact value. Okay, let's move on.